I might have my glasses on actually.
We are live on the Ashdown Jones page. I hope everybody can see us and hear us okay. So this is our first foray into our lockdown lessons. I hope this is going to go all right technically, I'm sure. Tell us.
Oh, so you froze then? You went to just tell us?
Yeah, you did as well, but it's okay. Carry on. Tell us about the kind of photography that you
do. I'd say people in property, people are my passion. I do lots of headshots, business headshots, corporate headshots, events, and property.
So I'm assuming that at the moment, given the 2 meter rule, taking pictures of people is probably out, and also events have probably dried up a little bit. It's fair to say.
All being cancelled. Yeah, all my events were actually at Excel, so it's quite heart wrenching, really, when you see what's happening at Excel at the moment. So
it's going to be a hospital.
Yeah, to go hospital.
Amazing, really, isn't it? Amazing that this has happened. And you know, the kind of events that you had, are they going to be put back, or don't you know at this stage?
Some have been put back. Whether that's going to happen now, obviously, because it's a hospital. Legal X, which was the first one to go, is being put back to December the 3rd, which is really not good time for shows.
God,
really.
Yeah, December the 3rd, yeah.
Okay. And I don't know now whether anything's going to happen at Excel, because one never knows what's going to happen day to day, really, in this country at the moment.
So it's fair to say you've had to be quite creative about your approach to photography, and you've got some ideas, and you're very kindly offering to share those ideas with other business owners in the South Lakes community. And we both know a lot of business owners here, and it's important that we all support each other at this very challenging time. But I thought your idea was a great idea, and I'd love you to share it with everybody.
Yeah, well, I was talking with a couple of clients, actually, some of which most of their clients are actually in hospitality around the South Lakes and local areas, all in hospitality, all closed, bedrooms closed. And it was really during that conversation, because we obviously both wanted to do something to help. You know, at this point, it's really not about making money. In fact, it's actually really infuriates me, but it is trying to make money, even though we all need money. We all are well aware that we all have no money, we need money, but that's not what it's about. It's about the kind of bigger good that's going off. So we had a conversation. That's really, so the plus side to particularly guest houses, B&Bs, is they are empty. And one of the problems we normally have is that then led us to think, and I think we had a conversation then about cars not being around, even outside shops. And while we might not be able to do it right now, I don't know, we need to ask the government, but certainly when it's lockdowns just lifted, it's a prime time to actually make use of the downtime that we have, to update photographs, to update content, to tweak with websites, and to use all our time productively, because it keeps the mind occupied as well, and prepares us for when we come out the other side of this.
So let's just go back a step, and let's just talk about why having a photograph of your business premises is important. Obviously, well, it's fairly obvious why it would be important if you were a hotel or a guest house or, you know, even a pub. But what about a shop or offices? We've got rural offices. You know, what about somebody like us? Why would we need a photograph of our premises? Why is it important?
It's very good, and it's grounding, isn't it? People, particularly nowadays, you can show to be a large company on a website. Often the telltale sign is when you get to the bottom of it and there's just a mobile number. But people do look for, if it depends on what kind of business they're looking for, to have a physical premises and to be able to show that off. You spent money on it or pay rates on it, whatever it might be, to show that off, and that's part of who you are and what you've got to offer. And I think we also had a conversation, I know Ashdown Jones do it very well, is to have twilight photos of properties, because it almost gives that voyeurism to inside the shop. So you want to look inside the shop. It's all quite exciting, and it's also very different. So you've got lots of competition out there, and that's going to be, you know, when we do get back to relative normality, hopefully soon, it will be even more competitive out there.
That's very true. And actually, anybody who does a bit of work now behind the scenes is going to be ahead of the game when things do go back to normal. Just on the twilight photography idea, there are quite a few sort of officey kind of buildings, ours probably included. I mean, ours is a relatively attractive building from the outside. It's an old farm building of some kind, isn't it? Maybe a barn or a byre. So at least we've got stonework, but actually having a twilight shot from inside, it makes it look a lot more attractive. So even the worst kind of, ugly square box offices or shops can actually look a lot more attractive. Even like accountancy offices and things that don't look sexy normally can look a lot more attractive.
It might be a bit stained with whatever it might be, but you don't really notice actually looking at what you want to see inside. And what was the question? I've forgotten the question.
The question was, sorry, I'm just trying to, I think I had technical, I think the streaming to Facebook has just paused momentarily, but it's okay, we'll carry on. So the question was, why would a twilight shot be better than a daytime shot? But I think you've answered that really. What you've said is that you focus on the main things. It also looks a lot more warm and welcoming, whereas maybe offices don't look warm and welcoming.
It gives another aspect, and also if you are having it as a content on website, it gives something that's different and shows that you can go at different times of day as well. In the winter,
it looks I like that idea. Yeah,
cozy, so you'll have some fire and some warmth. It doesn't show you so much as seasonality either, because it's of the building and you're looking inside, so you don't
you don't see that whether there's snow or snow drops or whatever. That's a good point as well. And so what you said about having a good picture of the outside is important. It gives people reassurance, doesn't it, that they are coming to a natural premises. That is always going to give people a bit more reassurance.
They find it easier as well because they recognize it from the shot.
Exactly. So finding it, turning up, being in the right place, seeing where there's parking, all those kind of things. So the kind of places you can put this kind of outside shot of your premises would be obviously your website. Where else would you put it, Victoria?
You could put it as a banner on, which again is quite a good banner on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
All your staff can have that, which then gives a grounding. It's like, these are the people. It almost goes back to kids stuff, doesn't it? Here's a house, and here's all the people inside the house.
I love that idea. That's great. And obviously on Facebook, because Facebook gives you a little extra picture as well as the
and once you've got the images, you can save them and use them in different ways. You can kind of have cropped versions of that. That's what I always do for my clients. Is almost then they start gathering a bank of imagery which they can then roll out at different points on Instagram. And
so to have it at different sort of dimensions and formats like square and rest of it is really important too. Good. Yeah, I can see that. And just mention a bit about Google My Business. How does the photograph work on there?
Google My Business is good. Obviously, if you Google a business, you're going to get pictures coming up all the time. So or anything you're doing. But if you've got a good premises to photograph, it obviously makes you look better.
That's right. And the thing that comes up on the right hand side with all the details of the address and everything, that's where the photograph could be. And if you don't put a photograph there, I think I'm right in saying that Google just sort of take a street view or somebody else's rubbish photo, and you need yours to be on there. So when you've got a Google My Business account, you can then hi Nick, hi Jenny, hi Ronaldo, you can then upload that image, and then you're controlling what people see about your premises. So it's really important to have a good professional photograph on there, just the same as you wouldn't have a photograph of you drinking a cocktail on the Costa del Sol as your profile picture. You would have a professional photograph. People quite often forget about the premises though, don't they? Shops and offices, they quite often think a quick snap is enough.
And then of course you've got people with multiple sites, and again having that with continuity, so that they all look the same even though they're different. It's the same kind of taken at the right time of day. And again, go back to having twilight shots that can make 4 or 5 different premises done that way, brings in that symmetry which you need really to then show.
And that's continuous branding as well. Brilliant. Okay, so we now know why it's important to have a really good premises shot. And me and you talked about this because we've just got a new website live, and I've taken, can you believe this, an iPhone picture of our premises and put it on there. So that's obviously going to change very soon because I know I need a professional shot of it. And you've just given me the idea of having a twilight shot, which is what we do for our properties. I didn't even think about it for our office. So that's great. Thank you for that. Now, the reason we're talking about this right now is obviously things are a little bit different out there at the moment. And this could be an opportunity, as long as you're not putting yourself or anybody else at risk, this could be an opportunity to get the best ever photograph of your premises, because there are no people, there's no cars, there's nothing to get in the way, there's no tourists knocking on the door while you're trying to take it. You can take it now with complete impunity, knowing that you're going to have the best possible photograph
especially the weather. It's incredible. You've got good weather, you've got everything, you've got good light, good weather, and nobody around.
Now's the time. Either that or you wait till the middle of summer and going along at 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is perfect. So we're going to share some tips, or you're going to share some tips about exactly how to get that really good photograph of your premises if you're not a pro. If you would like Victoria's help, as I suggest everybody needs, then obviously we're going to put a note in the comments underneath this video showing how they can get in touch with you, and then you can explain what the deal is at the moment, because I know you have an amazing deal at the moment for people with no money, which is fantastic.